Here's 10 reasons why you should buy this awesome camera, the CONTAX G2. Let's get into it. So maybe you found one of these on eBay, Facebook Marketplace, or maybe even got lucky and found it from your grandparents or your parents, or you just had one laying around. This camera has to be one of the best 35mm cameras that I've personally ever used. So I've had this camera for a little over a year now. I originally got it off of eBay for a little over $2 grand. I know it seems pretty pricey for a camera like this, but it is entirely worth it. New, these would have cost upwards of $4,000, and you adjust that for today's money. That's a hell of a lot of money that was originally spent on a camera like this. So it's a great deal. First reason you should pick up this camera right now is the shell of this CONTAX G2 is so premium. The feel in your hands is unlike any other camera that I've used. The outer shell is made out of titanium, super light for what it is, but there's also a little bit of weight to it, so it doesn't feel incredibly cheap. Now, if you're thinking about getting the G1 or the G2, I would recommend going for the G2, because with the G2 came an update to the camera that has better autofocus and a better display up at the top. For those reasons alone, I'd highly recommend going with the G2, although the G1 tends to be a lot cheaper. Now, if you are going for a G1, be careful that some of the lenses will not be compatible on the G1. So if you are going to go for a G1, go for the G1 green label. Then you can use the full array of CONTAX lenses. For the G2, there are a wide variety of accessories that you can pick up. Right now, I have 3 lenses, the 28, the 45, and then the 90. Right now, I have the 28 on here. And the wide angle that it provides is so unique and so sharp. This camera was released in the late 90s, so it has all of the automatic DX coding. There's no need to manually input an ISO value unless you so choose to. There is a button where you can change the ISO right here. You have the options to shoot continuously at a low speed and a high speed. There's also a self-timer function as well as a double exposure function. The camera also has a manual focus dial that you can use here. Another big plus with the G2 is that when you interconvert between the lenses, the viewfinder automatically changes to match the focal length that you're using. So say if you put a 28 in, it'll adjust to the wide angle view. If you put the 45 in, you'll get that tighter view, and with the 90, you'll get a super tight view in the viewfinder. So you'll know exactly what you're working with. For the 18mm lens, there is a separate attachment that goes on top of the camera to give you the extra wide angle view. We're also looking for a camera that many people know of, and I promise you time and time again, I've been stopped and asked about how good this camera actually is when I'm out shooting, and it genuinely is that good. Everybody knows the CONTAX and how good the lenses are. For those reasons alone, I recommend going for the CONTAX G2. Additional accessories that you can get for the CONTAX: you can get the data back. This allows you to imprint data onto the back of the film, time, date. Another reason that you should buy the CONTAX G2 is that you can shoot all the way up to 4,000th of a second to 4 seconds. So let's talk about some of the lenses that you can get. The combo that I was able to pick up came in a pack of a 28, a 45, and a 90mm focal length lenses. highly recommend going for this as you get the wide array of focal lengths to choose from. To compose photos, is also a zoom lens available. I personally don't have it. I don't see the need for it in the rangefinder format, but if you are looking for a zoom lens, there are zoom lenses available. This camera does actually feature a continuous autofocus mode and the single autofocus mode. I personally leave it in the single autofocus mode, and then I will adjust my composition accordingly while half holding it. And that is how I have found to get the best photos out of the CONTAX personally. If you leave it in the continuous autofocus, you don't necessarily know what you're getting if you let the camera continuously autofocus on a subject. CONTAX does actually offer a flash that goes with this camera in particular. It is called the TLA 200. I personally love the photos that comes out with using the TLA 200 along with the CONTAX G2. For the TLA 200, it does offer the ability using this little switch right here to lock into the top of the camera, so you don't have to worry about nudging it out accidentally or dropping it. On the top of the TLA 200, it offers you the ability to adjust 28, 35, 45, and 90 millimeter focal lengths. The camera and the flash both take two CR2 batteries. These batteries you can pick up in any drugstore basically still. They are the lithium kind. Yep, so they're readily available. There's no need to hunt for specific batteries like the CONTAX 645 that I have sitting behind me. That camera takes a CR5, two CR5 batteries. So I'm going to show you guys a couple sample photos that I took from a vacation down in Maryland. If you still don't believe me that this camera is so amazing at what it does, here are some more sample photos. Right now I've been shooting a lot of portrait through this, and all the sample photos that I'm going to be showing you guys are made from using Portrait 400. Haven't really used 800 that much or 160. For my photos, I tend to overexpose them about one stop. All around, this is a fantastic camera, and I highly suggest you pick it up. It might seem expensive, but it is definitely worth it in the long run. You're gonna have so much fun using this and shooting with it. If you guys enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment what kinds of other reviews of cameras you'd like to see. Until then, see you next time. Keep on shooting film.